Joining us by phone right now, I'm told, is Mike Garrity, who was near the church when he heard shots ring out and ran to the scene shortly after. Mike, thank you for taking the time. What did you see? What did you hear?
Pretty much I was just had finished a workout just around the corner at a gym, walked out and heard what I thought was like roofing nails happening, and I'm like, and then it happened again 2 more times, and the sound happened 2 more times, and I'm like, that doesn't sound good, and I kind of took cover behind a building. I'm like, I wonder what's going on. And the church was about 100 yards away. I'm like, I'm going to go walk by there, which is on my way home from my workout in the morning. Walked up there, and there was a couple teachers coming out of the school, which is right adjacent to the church, crying and clearly upset. And not too long thereafter, police cars started screeching up and pretty much parking on the sidewalk and come running out, guns drawn, running towards the church sanctuary.
What was going through your mind in that moment?
Well, panic and like I wasn't sure if school was actually started. The public schools don't start till next week here in Minneapolis, but the parochial schools started already yesterday. But then I walked a little bit further, and another one of my neighbors had just run into the sanctuary and was helping some 6, 7, 8-year-old children out of the church, and they were bloody, and I kind of almost threw up and pretty upset. And I'm like, I better not be by here. Yeah.
It sounds like
so then I went home, and
it sounds like you heard gunshots. Potentially, that what you heard sounded like a nail gun. You said, but did you get a look at the shooter?
No.
But you saw potentially some of the victims, certainly some of the students who were coming out of that church. You described them as bloodied and young. It sounds like they were so young.
Very, very young. And what I saw was probably 2nd, 3rd graders coming out. I actually went home, which I'm like 1 house away from the street that the church is on. Went inside, came back outside, and was standing in my front yard as this huge police presence was converging on our neighborhood. And not too long after that, there was a parade of, it looked like maybe kindergartners, 1st graders coming down the street, maybe a couple dozen of them, protected or escorted by police with big rifles, and they actually asked if they could let the kids stay in my front yard or in my yard, and we happened to have just a couple 100 yards the other direction, opposite of the church, a large park. I'm like, certainly they can stay here, but maybe the park would be better. So they continued on down that way. But it was like the most sad, terrifying scene ever. I mean, there was a couple dozen kids just falling and traumatized. Yeah.
Wow. Do you recall how long did the shooting last?
Like under a minute.
So it was very quick. And then how quickly did police get there?
Maybe another minute. It was, pretty impressive. Yeah.
This all just happening so quickly. Could you ever imagine?
I mean, we're, major. I was going to say we're a major metropolitan area, so there's police around, and there's a fire department 2 blocks away, and the fire engine, and there was paramedics there. They were probably there within 5 minutes for sure.
Could you ever imagine this happening in your neighborhood?
Well, given what's been happening in the last 40 years, it's the nightmare, but no, I didn't. I mean, I've lived in my house, I've only lived in Minneapolis, so 65 years, and lived in this house for 40 years.
Wow, you must know this community well then. What can you tell us about it, that neighborhood, that church, the school?
It's relatively affluent. $1 million houses on our block. Most families are pretty middle class, I guess. People that I would tend to say more on the liberal side living in the city, but probably pretty successful people that are hardworking, that have the wherewithal to send their children to parochial school. So it's a little bit of an upscale compared to Minneapolis has a lot of poverty, but this particular portion of Minneapolis, not so much.
What would you want anybody who's watching this to know about the heart of your neighborhood?
Good, hardworking people that really want to take care of each other.
Mike, as we await this news conference expected with local officials any moment and potentially federal officials as well, because we know it's been an all hands on deck response there with local, state, and federal officials responding to the scene, what will you be listening for? What answers do you want in this moment?
Well, there may be an indication of who this perpetrator is, or what was it more of a, unfortunately, I was thinking it might be a domestic situation, disgruntled dad or something like that, but maybe it was a kid. I don't know.
So much we don't know at this moment. Thank you, Mike Garrity. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sharing what you witnessed, and our hearts are with you and your community today.